So UK Paranormal Searcher here at tonight's location. I am tonight investigating the Old Nick Theatre here in Gainsborough in Lincolnshire. This is a fantastic place. I've just had a walk around with one of the hosts here. Loads of stuff to actually investigate. It's a lot bigger than what I thought. Now this place was an old court, it was an old jail and also an old magistrates court. And the upper level where the magistrate court was is now a theatre, so we'll take you into that part later on. There is 25 deaths that have been definitely documented in this place between 1860 and 1935, and also there's definitely two documentations of two suicides that definitely went on within this building when it was a police station. So the part of the building I'm in now is the old cells. This is a truly harrowing place to investigate. People say that have investigated this place before. Experienced paranormal investigators have actually fled this building in terror, so some people say. Shadow figures have been seen. Poltergeist activity is rife in this area. Also, these doors have been heard slamming in the middle of the night. It was in this particular cell that somebody came in one day, one of the police officers, and actually found somebody who actually died in this cell. So this would be definitely a place that we will be investigating later on when we actually go into night vision. So this cell that I'm talking to you from now is one of the old female cells. Now there was an incident that happened in this particular cell, and that was a female prisoner who attacked a police officer, and what she tried to do to the police officer, she attacked him with a chop bone and tried to cut the vein in his neck. So this is another place that we will be investigating later on when we go into night vision. The Old Nick for over 100 years was the divisional headquarters of the Lincolnshire Constabulary. The part we're in now, it looks like a theatre, but this wasn't the theatre, this was the old magistrates court. This is where the courts were held, and when the lights go out later on in here tonight, it's going to be very, very dark. There's no outside windows at all to actually interfere with the investigation. The room where I'm in now, dark, menacing shadows have actually been seen in this area. Also, there's been doors that have actually shut and locked on people. Now this is the dressing room, but this was originally is where the magistrates came and the judge came to actually get changed before they actually went through that door and into the magistrates court. So when this was a police station, the superintendent of the police station actually lived in the building also. And this room where I'm talking to you from now, this would have been his old dining room. So I'm really looking forward to tonight's investigation. There's lots to investigate, there's lots of stories, lots of history to this place. So let's hope we get something. So come and follow me as we investigate the Old Nick Theatre in night vision. I hear your voice. Hello? Nothing's happening there, are there? Up to now. So, that's the superintendent's office. You do lose your way a little bit here because it's, I say it's now pretty dark and you get a little bit mixed up which corridors were which. That's the inquiry desk. So this is the way out to. Yeah, this is where the inquiries would have been. Before we go off down there to the Victorian male cells. There is like a smell in here that it reminds me of old candy, like from the old candy shops. Keep getting a whiff of it, whether it's an air freshener they've got in here or not, I don't know. So again, I'm here, I need to make an inquiry. Can we have an officer's attention please? Can you make a sound? Is there any staff here that wish to come and communicate with me from the Old Nick Theatre? Can you come forward? Give me a sign that you were here. Real big draft down there, but I know what that is. That's because that down there is where the exercise yard would have been for the female and male prisoners, and the door doesn't quite shut, so I know exactly where that draft is coming from. Definitely not paranormal. So this would have been the last place you would have been charged for. You would have gone down that corridor there if you'd done something really bad.
that's where he would have been taken to the cells. Let's say that was the old male and female cells before they actually built the new female block. I think it was in 1932. But I don't feel spooked at all. It's a very atmospheric building. I think a lot of people would feel a little bit spooked here. I've got to also be careful because I keep hearing noises, but it is quite residential around here, so there is noise from outside now and again, and that was a voice from outside, I think. So you do have to be careful of that as well. That's why I'd like to come back maybe overnight, till it gets like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, and things quietened off a bit, and if you did hear something then maybe it'd be a bit more interesting. But as I said, there is quite a lot of traffic outside still, and a lot of people walking around. So we do have to take that into account tonight. This is the exercise yard, the Victoria exercise yard. So if there's any spirits in this yard and this exercise yard that wish to come and communicate with me. I'm now in the exercise yard, I'm actually walking in it. If there's anybody here, any spirit people at all that wish to come and communicate with me outside, if you want to throw a stone at me, that'd be good. We can hear your footsteps. Shut the door. Shut that exercise yard door on me. Can we hear your footsteps? Like this. Can we hear you maybe still exercise like you used to do when you was a prisoner here? Really atmospheric. This, even though it's outside, it's quite atmospheric. It really, really is, because you say you go back to and feel how maybe it would have been all those years ago. And there's the cell windows with the, I presume that's the new block. Maybe that's the female cells. I'm not really sure. I've lost my bearings a little bit outside here. Anyone here? Come on, do something. Make a noise. See your voice. Make a sound. So, carry on. It's really, really dark down here now. I can't actually see a thing. It's pitch black. You can't. You can see. Like I'm looking at that door now through night vision. If I look at that door with my naked eye, I just can't see it whatsoever. It's very close. So that's how dark now this part is. And you walk around the corner and somebody could be stood there. You just wouldn't see them at all. Cell doors here. Is there anyone here? Anybody in this cell that wishes to communicate with me? Anyone here? Come on, do something in this cell. I'm here all alone. There's nobody here now apart from me in this building. Now come on, do something. Can you make a sound? Can you knock on the door? If I knock like this, can you knock back? Knock back for me. No, yeah, I think that was my fault. I thought I heard something walk towards me, but I think it was my fault. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was my fault. It was in this cell, I think, that somebody actually took their own life, and they did something from the window and strung themselves up, and they actually died in this cell. If you actually look, look on there, that's where the window was. You just make it out on camera, you just see the outline of the window, and after that they did board the window up. So somebody did take their own life here in this cell. As I said, there's 25 confirmed deaths in this jail, and there's definitely confirmation of 2 suicides. Now obviously there could have been a lot more, but they reckon some of the deaths could have been from police beatings. That's what some people say. How true that is, I honestly don't know. But in this cell here, somebody definitely did take their own life in here. And you can imagine, it's not a big cell, and, you know, as I said, there was men in here and women in here until they built the new jail in 1932. It's not a big cell, it's because it used to hold up to 11 people. Can you make a noise in here? Can we hear your movement, please? If I whistle, can you whistle back? That was right on cue, but that was somebody outside. Now that made me jump because that was right on cue, but that was definitely somebody from outside. And that's a motorbike, so that's what I mean, you have to be very careful. It's a little bit annoying really, because I'm going to try that again, but it definitely was from outside. If I whistle, if there's any prisoners here, any staff, if I whistle, can you whistle back? Whistle back for me. Hello? Hello? Is there anyone here? And I've just come out of this cell now, it's so dark. I'm scraping my feet because I don't know if there's a step. It's absolutely now pitch black in here. It's so dark. It's gone totally dark outside now. What's that? What's behind this? Must be the other cell. So if you look down the corridor now, that's how dark it is. Pitch black. As I say, I feel absolutely fine. To tell you the truth, I don't feel spooked. I don't feel on edge or anything like that, to be honest. I feel quite at home. And the more I've done of these investigations on my own now, I think the more, I don't know, the less, how can I put it, the less, I don't even get spooked that much now. You know, the more I've done, the more I'm doing these investigations on my own, you know, 15 years ago I'd always felt a little bit on edge because I was on my own. It doesn't really seem to bother me now at all. I'll say, I don't feel spooked at all in here, but you think if this, what's happened in this building, the history of this building, it's one of them places again, if this wasn't haunted, you know, what else could be, but up to now it's been quiet. But we'll carry on. Still in the Victorian part of the cells, this is what the next cells would have been. So is there anybody here with me? Apparently all these spirits in this building slam these cell doors and you make people flee in terror of this place. But you've not done anything like that for me tonight. I feel absolutely fine. Can you not come and do something for me? Voices have been heard. Shadows have been seen. There's no evidence that you've done anything like that for me. Come on, do something. Close this barred door if you can. Walk towards me. If I whistle, can you whistle back? It's all happening at all. Again. So quiet. Again, that scream was from outside. What we'll do later, I'm going to do the old female cells, and then I'm going to go up them stairs there to the theatre part. A lot of activity apparently happens in the judge's room, which is now the changing room, so we'll try that later on. This is the day room we're back in now. So the police would have got their orders. Just a picture outside, main road. Is there anybody here in this day room where you used to get your orders? If there's any police officers here? Any police officers that still come back? Can you knock on one of these lockers? I think this was the cell where the lady with the pork chop bone tried to stab one of the officers in the neck. I think this happened in this cell. So if these, let me shut this door. Close the cell door. I thought I'd lock myself in then. I thought, well, that's if I've locked myself in, that's me done for the night. I just thought that door opened again, so I just pulled it shut, but it shut it. Well, it might be locked in here now for the rest of the night until morning. So if the female prisoner in this cell that tried to kill one of the officers with a pork chop bone, if you are here with us tonight, can you come forward in this cell and do something for me? Was it police you didn't like? Was it men you didn't like? Well, I'm a man, so come and do something to me now. If you want to come and push me, touch me, anything at all you want to do, then come forward and do it. Bang on this cell door. Open the door. Open the cell door. Because you failed, didn't you? You didn't kill that officer, you tried to kill him, didn't you? But you wasn't good enough, was you? You wasn't good enough to kill him. So he was a failure in life. He's still a failure now. Now you've passed over. Are you still here in this building? Move that dummy. Sat on the bed. Move it. Hear your voice. Whistle to me, shout. Hello? Hello? Right, I need to know now if I can get out of this door or not, because if I can't, seriously, I'm knackered. I can't go for that. Jesus Christ, that just made me jump, because it's so black down here. that just looks, it wasn't. But that's two things now that have just frightened the wits out of me. It really made me on edge because I looked down the corridor, that looked, even though it isn't, that looked down the corridor like a police officer was just standing there looking at me with a hat on. It obviously isn't. And then I just come out of that cell and I've forgotten about that bloody thing there. There's mannequins again, isn't it? Because all I can see, you can see that through night vision, but all I can see that is like a shadow, like a black shadow, a big person, and that's that was quite funny really. It wasn't a ghost, but it definitely made me jump. I'll be honest with you, like atmospheric wise, it's probably one of the most atmospheric places that I've actually ever been to. It's definitely on par with a lot of the other atmospheric places I've done, because the corridors are so dark, and as you walk down them there's like doors that go off to each other, and you always think somebody's going to come out one of the doors, or you're just going to see something at the end of the corridor. Because as I say, with it being dark, I can make out certain things, but I can't make out everything. As I say, that there, what you can see in night vision, to me, just looked like there was an officer standing at the end of this corridor waiting for me. That probably spooked me up more than that thing spooked me up, to be honest, in there. That big thing. That person. With no pants on, so I don't know why there's no pants on. I've no idea. They've got a tunic on, but they haven't got any pants on. So I don't know. Okay, I've just nipped outside to the car to get something out of the car, and two weird things have happened to me when I didn't have the camera. One was I went to knit for a wee, and the dictaphone went off in my pocket for something I recorded earlier. I probably just knocked it with my hand, but I was then washing my hands, and the paper towels are on a ledge next to where the hand dryer is, and they have just come flying off the top and gone onto the floor. Now, whether it was something to do with the vibrations of the hand dryer, I don't know, but that's two weird things that have just happened to me off camera. What I thought I'd tell you about. I'm not saying it's paranormal, but it's probably the most weirdest things that have happened tonight to me when I didn't actually have the camera in my hand. So there you go. So is anybody here, any police officers that wish to come and communicate with me now? Come on, you've been quiet all night. Any prisoners that are here? Come on. Don't be shy. I'm sure you're not shy. You stand here, you can feel that draft in the exercise yard, because as I said, the door doesn't shut, and it's just like being outside stood here. So if you did get any drafts, it'd be so hard to say that you were paranormal in this building, especially in this part of the cell block anyway. Can you move something behind that desk if you were here now? If you're watching me, don't stand in the shadows. Don't stand in the shadows, come forward. I'm inviting you to do something. I'm inviting you to slam one of these doors. Come on, time's getting on. You've done nothing. Nothing at all. Just keep walking round, hoping that I'm going to hear something from one of these rooms. Hear your footsteps, come on. It was funny before, because let's go back there. I said to you before I could smell like candy. That's like the old fashioned sweets. But then I went, I think it was this room here, and it smelled a little bit, I'm not saying it was, but it smelled a little bit like cigar smoke. That's what it smelled like. And I can't really smell it now, but you know, there's old furniture in here, and it could just be that. What's making that smell? I don't know, but I can't smell it now. But it did smell a little bit, well, at first I thought it was like sweets, but then it smelled a little bit like cigars. Maybe the superintendent's wife's here, the cook. There's lots of things for you to move in here. It is a spooky room, this. It's because of all the furnishings and the old-fashioned furniture, and I said it's the doors. That's what makes it atmospheric, because all the doors going into other rooms, like the superintendent's office in there. It's just like being in an old-fashioned house or a museum. Some of the stuff is still relevant to this building, some of the furniture, some of it isn't. They just tried to obviously replicate it to the era, a little bit like 30 East Drive in that respect. There's a lot of donations given to them as well from other museums as well. A lot of police museums have donated things to this museum, which is nice. But it's fantastic to actually just be here. You know, and again, you've got to thank the people for keeping this going. You know, there's so many buildings, and it really annoys me that so many of these buildings are just being pulled down or just being made into flats. So, you know, it's fantastic that this is still here. You know, it's part of our history, and, you know, in this country there's too many of these buildings just getting pulled down. It really, really does irritate me, to be honest. It's such a shame, but obviously, you know, this place runs off donations as well to keep it going. You know, and the staff and volunteers here do an absolutely fantastic job, and, you know, it's heads up to them for doing a great thing. You know, keeping the history of England going. As I said before, you know, if you look on the internet at you know, go look on the internet at the Old Nick Theatre. Look at the people who have been here, the things that have happened to people that have been here. You know, it's really interesting. You know, as I say, nothing's happened to me tonight, but there's no way I'm saying this place isn't haunted. I'm not saying that. It's just that tonight nothing has happened to me. But as I say, if you do get a chance, go on the internet, look under the Old Nick Theatre, Gainsborough, and just have a look at all the reports of the paranormal activity that has gone on in this building. It's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Coming to the end of the night now, I've got about an hour left to run. I've just been upstairs, had a chat with Frances, who's right at the top of the building, and God bless her, she's been so quiet tonight that I don't even know she's here. So I just had a quick brew with her. So what I'm going to do for the last 40 minutes or so, I'm going to have a total sweep round of downstairs to see if we can actually pick anything up before I leave. And then what I'm going to do for the last 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes, I'm going to sit in the cell where the person committed suicide. I'm going to sit in there, I'm going to leave the dictaphone running with me, and then if I do hear anything outside, I know it's to ignore that on the dictaphone. So that's what I've decided to do. So hopefully in the next 15-20 minutes, hopefully it's our last chance of actually getting some activity, so let's hope something happens. Or anybody else in this building, be it staff, maybe you's a prisoner, and come forward and do something. Walk towards me, let's hear your boots walking. Make a sound, any sound at all. Come on, this was your house, not only a police station, but this was your house. This is where you live with your family. Wish something, just one thing had happened, like a door bang or a cell door to shut. It is a little bit more strange now because it's gone so quiet outside. It's made a hell of a difference to actually being in this building. I just walked into that room, I did get some little goosebumps on my back, and as I say, I felt absolutely fine all night. So why that would happen, I don't know. But since I've had my break and I've come back down, it does feel a little bit more I'm not scared, don't get me wrong, I'm not spooked at all, but it feels a little bit more atmospheric, if that makes sense. I say it's so quiet outside now. That's why when I come back next time, I want to do it like overnight, and stop, be here 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and do it that way when everything is quiet. God, it's so quiet down here. It's taken on a whole different feeling since my break. I'm walking down here and I can't see a thing. It is pitch black down here. If something was here now, I wouldn't even see it. That's how dark it is. I can't see a thing. Come on! If you're down this corridor, I can't see anything. If you're here, make a noise. Bang on something. Knock on this cell door. I know for a fact a lot of people who come with me are absolutely freaking this building. I'm serious, they'd be scared stiff. I know that for a fact. I know some of the people that come with me, they wouldn't like it. I look at this inquiry desk. Come on, it's too busy. This was a busy building. Lots of things happened here. Apparently there was a lot of police brutality as well. Is that true? Is there any prisoners here that were killed by brutality of the police in Victorian times? Was you a victim? If you was, make yourself be known. You walk into this cell and it's like walking in to a black hole. Can't see anything. I've not even got the camera to my face now. I'm gone onto shoulder cam, so I can't really see anything. I get a little bit of light off the infrared sometimes, but not a lot. If the girl was in here, the girl who tried to stab the policeman, maybe. If there was brutality, was it in self-defense? Is that the true story? You did it in self-defense, maybe? If so, could you knock? And what was interesting, I've just been speaking to Francis upstairs, and obviously this museum is open in the day to people, and they've had numerous reports of people just losing jewellery, especially rings. Rings have just gone missing on people's fingers, and the volunteers the next day have even been out with metal detectors trying to actually find these rings that people have lost, and they haven't found them. Now, it was interesting because one of the volunteers did say there was pickpocketers obviously jailed in these cells, so I thought that was quite an interesting story. She also said as well the prisoners, these cells were used for prisoners up until 1970. They didn't go to this court then upstairs. They went to a newer court, not so far away. But yeah, the cells were still used by prisoners in 1970. So I thought that was quite interesting too. It's not really that long ago. You say, Paul? What was you in for? What did you do? What are you in for? What did you do? Anything? You're not talking to me. I just wish that door would fly open or bang or slam to. This is all the phenomena that's supposed to have happened in this jail. Nothing's happened tonight for me like that. Look at some of the graffiti on the wall. Dead girls, Nigel. United. Rich. Cop 423. Bastard, I think it says. Oh dear. So Cop 423 is with us in this building. Are you here? Collar number 423, are you in this building with us tonight? Somebody's called you a bastard. It's written on the door. Was you a bastard? Was you one of the police officers that used to beat people up? Interesting to see on the female cells if there's graffiti on these doors, but there isn't. I've noticed. I know this was later. This was built later on. There's the old peephole. Used to look through. I can't see any graffiti as such on the female wing as it is on the male wing. A little bit there. Or is that just where paint's come up? I'm not really sure. So I'm going to wrap this investigation up tonight. Nothing's happened, but I've thoroughly enjoyed actually being here in this building. It's so atmospheric, and if you haven't had the chance to investigate the Old Nick Theatre in Gainsborough, then it's a place you definitely need to do, even though nothing's happened to me tonight. It doesn't mean to say that this place should not be investigated. I'd love to come back again, as I say, with some more people. I definitely want to do this again, but maybe want to stay a little bit later and 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, that sort of time. So sorry nothing's happened, but again, UK Paranormal Search, as always, will always bring you the truth of any investigation that we actually do. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.